Welcome to lesson 3 of 3 in our series on operating with fractions. Now this is more a test yourself. I'm putting an exam question in front of you, so when you look at the question you're welcome to pause. Remember, it's yours to pause at any time. But I will now go through how to solve this question. I'd also say that we are ready to add on other example questions on this topic that you can access as you go. Let's look at the question. Notice that this question is from EDEXCEL June 2018. It's paper 1, which is non-calculator. It appeared on both the foundation and the higher tier papers, so all maths students need to be able to do this. Okay? Let's get to the question. The first one, work out 2 1/7 plus 1 1/4. Now, there are two ways of approaching these additions of fractions, and it's something we've spoken about. There's a lot of sense in adding the whole components first, and then looking at the 1/7 and the 1/4 separately. Okay, so the 2 whole ones plus 1 whole one gives me 3. I'm going to add to it that fraction, but you remember the key is same size pieces. So what number does 7 and 4 go into? It goes into 28. A surefire way of finding that, not always the most efficient way, but will always get you a number, is just multiply them together. And it works perfectly in this case. 7 times 4 is 28. So we've made them the same size pieces. We remember we need to, what we've done to the bottom, we need to do to the top. So here I've multiplied by 4 to get that piece, the size of the pieces to be 28. So multiply the top by 4, which is 4 28ths. If I look at the 4, I've multiplied that by 7 to get 28. So multiply the 1 by 7 to get myself the 7 28ths. And then I can add across 4 28ths plus 7 28ths is 11 28ths. So the answer is 3 whole ones and 11 28ths. Notice the question, look at the question, it doesn't say give your answer as a mixed fraction. I say that because you could have taken an alternative route. Let's look at the alternative route, which in the exam many students did, and this is perfectly fine. If you look at sevenths, you've got 2 whole ones, which is 14 sevenths. So that gives you 15 sevenths altogether. If you look at quarters, you've got 1 whole one, which is 4 quarters plus the 1, so it's plus 5 quarters. So you see what you could have done is changed both of these to top heavy fractions. Okay, then you could have made them the same size pieces, so we're going to make them both 28ths again. Here I've multiplied by 4, so multiply the top by 4, which is 60 over 28, and there I've multiplied the 4 by 7, which is multiply the top by 7, which is 35, giving me 95 over 28. Now, in the mark scheme, this gets you the full marks. 95 over 28 gets you the full marks because the examiner hasn't said to leave it as a mixed fraction. This, of course, also gets you the full marks. My point is you can choose either method. I'd argue in this case, this is a bit quicker here, adding the whole components first, okay? It's an interesting contrast with part B. In part B, 75% of students doing the foundation paper didn't get the marks on this, okay? Firstly, you've got no choice but to change 1/5 to a top heavy fraction. Do you see? No choice. You have to do that if you're dividing. Let's bring that down. the 3/4 down here. So you have to rewrite the problem. So your problem, remind ourselves for part B, is to work out this division. 1 1/5 divided by 3/4. So firstly, change it into top AQA fractions. Then we apply our rule. The first fraction is fixed. Can you remember? We flip the second fraction. That gets flipped. The 3 and a 4 gets flipped to 4/3, and that enables us to multiply. So we flip the second fraction, leaving us with 24/15. Have we finished? No, my friends, we haven't. Because let's highlight what the examiner said. Give your answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. So we have to do those two things. I'm going to simplify first. 24 and 15, what number goes into both? Well, 3 goes into both. So let me show you actually something which is a neat divisibility test. Can you see 2 and 4, the digits add up to 6 in a 3 times table, that is. So 3 goes into it. 1 and 5 adds up to 6 in a 3 times table. So 3 goes into it. So I know 3 goes into the top and bottom, which gives me 8/5. So I've done the simplest form bit. I now need to do the mixed number. And I've got 8/5. 5/5 make a whole one. Leave me 3/5 left over. Hey presto, there we are. That's the answer. That gets you the full 2 marks at the end. Okay, so 2 things to remember with that last question, the question which gave so many people so much difficulty. Firstly, for the division process, you flip the second fraction. And then secondly, read the question. You needed simplest form in a mixed number. So there we have it. We're going to add some more exam questions to this series so you can test yourself on those, but I think this is a really good one to keep going back to. Thank you. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson. Remember, give us some likes and also feel free to mail in any thoughts or anything you would like added. Thank you.